This is just presenting to you with how I do it and how perhaps if you adopted the same mindset, it might ease some of your stresses as well. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to make a short video on how you can romanticize your life in the postpartum new motherhood type of phase. This seems kind of like an oxymoron because I've noticed that there's a lot out there kind of preparing women to have the worst experiences of their lives after they have a baby. Now, before some of you get triggered by what I just said, I want to specify that it is very important to prepare women with the warning signs of postpartum depression, breastfeeding difficulties, anxiety, a new identity. All of those things are important, but I feel as though as we've stepped into preparing women to understand that this might be in their future, we have let go of the beauty of motherhood, of emphasizing the importance of maximizing this time because it is so short and we don't want to miss out on it. I will also tell you that I've had my struggles. I talked about this on Instagram as well as in my first vlog that I did after having my baby, so I'm not a stranger to what is expected. But in the same breath, on this channel, we are all about holding ourselves to a higher standard, striving for more. And this is one of the ways that I was able to overcome negative feelings and adversities as I stepped into new motherhood. So before we get into the video, I also wanted to tell you, I apologize for the squeaking sound in the background. This is just how we are going to be doing the videos for a short little while since my baby is taking a nap in his swing right next to me. I also appreciate it so much when you hit the like button, also when you leave your comments down below so that we can start a conversation, so that we can help each other out. There are so few people in this world living with our kind of like alternative values, and that's a big reason why I think it is so important to support each other, to help each other so that we can all thrive. First up, I'm going to start off with the lightest topic, physical appearance. I found that it helped me feel beautiful to have a postpartum wardrobe. I was realistic with myself. I wasn't going to have a bunch of dresses right away in my closet immediately postpartum. I opted for sweatpants, but I kept them a little bit more feminine because I went for lighter colors, for example, pastels or red. Red is a color that looks good on me. I also made everything easy to pair together with zip-up sweaters as well as tank tops that I could pull down for breastfeeding. I went for versatility as well as comfort and the ability to just honestly pick out two different items, even if I was blindfolded in my closet, that would go well together. I also knew, because I was having a planned C-section, that I would probably spend some time in bed due to limited mobility afterward. And for that reason, I bought nightgowns as well as pajamas that go together. I'm going to link my favorite ones down below. In my first vlog I did after having my baby, I also mentioned that I kept my makeup simplistic, and I practiced this before having my baby by picking out a BB cream and a CC cream, a mascara that I liked, as well as a lip stain because I knew I was going to want to kiss him, but I'm the type of person that likes to wear lipstick every single day. I think that this is a crucial step in romanticizing your life because many of us as feminine women are highly sensitive to the way that we look, how we present ourselves, even if we're not going anywhere. The second thing that I did to have a better postpartum experience, to kind of allow myself to romanticize this time, is that I tried to find gadgets and simplistic processes for everything. For example, I talked about the mini fridge that I keep in my bedroom. I do a lot of pumping. I'm like a half pumping, half direct breastfeeding mom. And at night I feed my baby pumped bottles of milk. So it was so much easier for me to have this little tiny mini fridge, put the bottles in there instead of going to the kitchen and hearing him cry in the background because he was hungry. This kind of seems a little bit weird in terms of romanticizing your life, but anywhere where you can cut down on the decisional fatigue is really going to help you have more time and energy to focus on what matters. There are also random things like the triangle pillow. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I'll put a picture here, as well as that tool to grab things off of the ground. Honestly, I had no shame in thinking about all the things that would help me physically. Preparing freezer meals in advance, a couple weeks of freezer meals. I didn't even take a whole day to prepare these things. I just would cook double, or I would split the dinner in half as I was cooking for 4 people because we're only 2 people. people, and then I would freeze that other portion. Speaking of pumping, I also found some portable pumps as well as accessories that go with pumping that just made the experience so much better. A mini fan on my nightstand for postpartum sweats, as well as I brought that to the hospital. A back scratcher, yes, that sounds like the weirdest thing, but after your epidural or your spinal block wears off, many of you might be itchy. And also the limited mobility, you know, you might want to scratch your back. So I bought a back scratcher. And more along the lines of the romanticizing aspect, I do want to encourage you to make everything an experience. Like I mentioned, I pumped a lot, and I'm still doing that to this day. There can be a lot of dread that comes along with even nursing your baby, because it does pretty much take up half your day, especially at the beginning. So listening to an audiobook, that kind of meditation music, I don't meditate, but that music, that like spa type of music, you can put on and try to relax, try to be aware of your body. You can even take this time to pray. I often prayed for my baby while I was nursing him in the morning. Differentiating the days is also something that is going to be so important for your mental health. The way that I did this was on the weekends, I would cook brunch for my husband and I. During the weekdays, I would take at least one day a week where my mom and I would go and do a bunch of errands. We would get baby ready and we would go for the entire day. I also found it incredibly helpful to chip away at a little project. I am currently working on decluttering my storage space. That is something that would normally have taken me 1 to 2 days, but with a baby, you don't have a lot of free time, or even if you settle them down somewhere, they tend to get a little fussy after a while, which is probably why I'm speaking a little bit quickly in this video, because I know my baby will wake up soon from his nap. But anyway, the satisfaction of feeling progress is going to help your mental health, and is just going to make the days so much more enjoyable. I also think that as feminine women, romanticizing the experience of getting ready every single day is very important. This is going to look different depending on how much of a high needs baby you have. But like I mentioned in my previous video, I found that it was especially useful to have beauty goals and to hold myself to that standard, even if it took multiple hours to get there. For example, drying my hair. One thing that I am reminded of when I work through this point that I should have mentioned earlier when I was talking about wardrobe is that I didn't plan for the period after the first month or two where my body would still remain unchanged. I thought that it would be easy because I was breastfeeding and I was burning so many calories that I would get back into my old clothes, but that wasn't true at all, because I am one of those lucky people that holds on to that extra 10 to 15 pounds while nursing. Something that has helped me romanticize my life, as you can kind of see, is invest in flowy dresses that make me feel good, but also have that aspect of femininity where they flow, where there are some ruffles, some details, some colors. I've also mentally planned out the aprons. You all know I have a large, extensive collection of aprons to pair with these dresses and these outfits. All of that girly kind of fun is romanticizing my life for me. And on the topic of my body, I think that it's so important to be kind to yourself, to be kind to all of the months that your body took to build that baby, and to also nourish your body and make that an experience. I know that coffee isn't necessarily something that is highly nutritive, but every day I take the time to make myself a specialty coffee. I have learned how to strategically position my baby so that he is comfortable for at least 10 to 15 minutes while I drink that coffee. I've also sought out recipes, and it's gotten me back into the spirit of baking, which has been so positive for how I feel. I'm able to set up my baby, kind of have a little cooking show with him. I show him things so that he is entertained, and I'm able to bake muffins. Since dinner time around here is quite chaotic, and I've been opting more so for easy recipes as well as crock pot, because it's during the hours where he is fussy. The process of baking is something that I schedule for a time where he is highly interactive, so I'm also able to bond with him, get him to make different facial expressions, but simultaneously be doing something that I enjoy. That is also something that I used to do, and it helps me feel like who I am. Lastly, this is a point where I want to be very careful on how I word it. I want want you all to know that when I advocate for things specifically in terms of my mothering style on this channel, it does not mean that I am judging you if you are doing something different. It's funny when people think that I am judgmental of others who have a different lifestyle, because that isn't how my brain rationally works. I don't look at somebody else in a condescending way. I'm just too busy living my own life to actually care about that. So all that being said, take whatever I say and how it resonates with you and throw away the rest. I found that I was able to have more of a romanticized experience bonding with my child through attachment parenting. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you just think it's a bunch of crunchy granola moms, I highly recommend the book Attachment Parenting, which I will link down below, because there are ways that you can adapt it to your lifestyle, even if you are a working outside of the home mom, for example. Learning to understand my baby's cues rather than sticking to a strict schedule. Those are all things that worked best for me. Baby wearing. I've talked about how we also do routines, but not schedules. I don't sleep train, and although I don't bed share because that's not safe for my husband and I based on how we sleep, I do co-sleep. And again, I am tiptoeing around this point because it's not a judgment on if you do things differently in your household. This is just presenting to you with how I do it and how perhaps if you adopted the same mindset, it might ease some of your stresses as well. Going with the flow of my baby, not setting up specific milestone expectations, but trying to challenge him every day based on how I felt was appropriate for him has been so liberating to me. So regardless if you choose to do it the way that I'm doing it, I want to encourage you to understand that you were made for this. Oftentimes society, especially back to the point of negativity, causes for women to judge their natural mothering instinct, that they don't know what they're doing. But remember, you and your baby were one for 9 months, and even if there are hard moments where you don't feel as though you quite understand your baby, and trust me, I have those moments too, but keep working at it every single day. Like I just talked about in flow, now I'm in such a flow that I can read my baby. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but I worked a lot on building that attachment that helped me feel more secure in my mothering, which in my opinion is my version of romanticizing motherhood. All right, friends, baby is awake. There are other things that I could have talked about, so follow me on Instagram because perhaps I'll be able to share more there. We are off to eat and off to play and then off to sleep. I will see you in the next video. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.